Okay, now, a few videos ago, we had been in the middle of looking through and analyzing and viewing and discerning the conversation that my mother and I were having over the text line here at the time of last year, September-ish, early October-ish of the prior year, 2022. In the days that led up to the big catastrophe of October 9th, Sunday. Now, as promised, even though we took a few side quests, I guess you could say, to examine all these different various topics that have come up naturally for me. As promised, we're returning back to the content because, as indicated before, very important that we look at the entirety of what was said or done so that the full understanding and context with the maximum degree of contextually correct understanding is brought out from the fullness of the situation. So no partial slants allowed. Get it? Now, where we left off on the conversation before, I had stated, Mom, I did nothing wrong. That's the part you need to get. And you are the one who owes me an apology. This is for sure. And then the next text she sent back is the one that we left off at, where she said, you did spit on me. And then I analyzed prior how, no, that's not a correct claim. That is not correct. I didn't spit on you. I deny it, and that denial is correct. She says, of course, in the inversion spirit, I expect an apology from you first. Now, do you see why I waited this long to continue resuming this? And then there'll also be an analysis after this of some of the events that have taken place more recently in the last few weeks. Everything's a little bit delayed, but eventually it all comes out. It's just critical to do it in a certain order. Why? Because if you just randomly go through, or even if you go through in one straight deal, sometimes the places you arrive at, you won't know context until you examine the underlying principles first. So we pause, we hold class, we update our education, and then with the application, the ability, with the newfound ability to apply what we learned, we come back and then now we see things with new eyes. That's what we keep doing. However, here's the important thing to recognize as well. Even if in a parallel dimension it were the case that over there I did spit on her, guess what? Even in that dimension, where everything else is the same and held constant and matches what's happened in our reality and universe here, guess what? Has my mom ever spat on me? Yes, she has. I'll never forget it either. Multiple times. And one particular time, I remember most distinctly, when I was 17 years old. And even though I reached the age of what could be considered a spiritual maturity, like, you know, bar mitzvah kind of age, 13 plus, still I was under the Caesar's statutory age of what's considered the majority age, still at 17. So I felt I was, less empowered to stand up for myself at that time. So I took all sorts of abuse, including getting hit and slapped in the face, essentially beat in the face, spat on, which, I couldn't spit back, and I didn't spit back. I've been spat on. So who held my mother to account then to say you don't spit on other human beings, but especially your own family and your own son? Oh no, I did because he did something bad. Oh well, if you reverse the roles, I say, oh well, mom was doing something bad, so I spat on her. Exactly. Standalone, it wouldn't be really fully right. However, doctrine of unclean hands / the doctrine of hypocrisy. If you have ever done the same guilt thing before, you are self-barred now from ever being able to claim the same wrong when it's ever done back onto you. But as I said, nevertheless, and as I more clearly explained in the previous video, it's not actually the case that I spat on my mom. I made it clear, I spat beside her. But in my mom's brain, there's a tremendous amount of conflation erroneous conflation. You know what? I remember one time I had the police called on me for doing nothing wrong. I just got home drunk and went to sleep, basically. There's a little more than that, but nothing that I did that was wrong or criminal or anything. Doesn't matter. She called the police. Police showed up. They're like, why are we even here? I'm like, I don't know. Why are you here? My mom's like, oh, he was punching holes in the wall. I'm like, no, I wasn't. They said, I don't know, but she said you were, so therefore we got to treat it like you were. I'm like, no, that's not fucking correct. Later, I had a lawyer come into knowledge of this. Actually, my mom told my lawyer, same thing, quote, punching holes in the wall. He gets on the phone with me. All right, John, your mother told me you were punching holes in the wall. I said, no, dude. I know you think normal people speak normally. You don't realize you're speaking to an exception. My mom's not a normal human being. So when she says, quote, holes in the wall, end quote, that doesn't actually mean that that happened in reality at all. What? What the hell you mean? I'm like, yep, trust me, that's the weird one I've got. Only mine does that to that fucking twisted extent. He's like, that doesn't make sense. If she said holes in the walls, I believe there's physical impacted holes in walls. Is that true? I said, no, swear to God. He's like, okay, take pictures of all the walls at home using a newspaper showing today's date, and we'll see if there's holes in the walls. I'm like, yeah, there's no holes in the walls. And later my mom admitted, I said, Mom, did you say, quote, holes in the walls? She's like, I'm not really sure what I said. I said, that's what you've been telling the police and my lawyer. Yeah, because you're punching in holes in walls. No, there's no holes in the wall. She's like, well, if you say it that way, you know, I guess I could see how it's not actually holes in the wall. You know, I see that. I'm like, well, then what the fuck are you doing? What's that? What is that disease when you misspeak reality, but like chronically, as a habit that all life long you do that? It's called fuzzy vision. You know, you'll say things that don't actually make sense. Huh? Okay, because in the masculine mind, everything is literal. So you must speak clearly or have your head cut off. That's it. That's our law. What are you doing, fucking moronic people? So, the precedent has already been established that my mom is not an accurate or correct speaker, making many false statements all the time about all sorts of various things. We've established this already. So here we are again. Yeah, this was spit on me. Well, unless you conflate you with the floor nearby you, that's not true either. Okay? You already are caught here again making false claims about violence. I wasn't violent to you in the recent relevant time. So why are you saying to my friends, defaming me, in essence? And it's not true. You should punch yourself in the face. But because you won't do the punching of your own face for me, you don't actually get to feel pain at the conclusion of your wrongdoings. That's why you still are alive, feeling comfortable to wrong people. You don't get it? It's fucked up. It's not right. So, nonsense with this spitting crap. I expect an apology from you first. No, because again, doctrine of unclean hands. If I spat on you, no reason, it's just, hi, good morning. Oh, guess what? Then you could hold something against me. If you did something that was the first origination event of controversial offense, and then I rebuke you, and then you're not getting it, now we're debating, and you're bringing me into anger. Oh, the clarity of Christian doctrine already said, it's your fault when you make your son angry. So you get the sin, not him, because you're the one who recklessly brought him into fucking rage. Why you do that? You're supposed to be the responsible party. So you're guilty when you let it happen. When you mismanage your lawn and don't mow it, you're guilty. The grass isn't guilty. You're guilty. Do you get it? Are you the parent? But yes, I am the mother. That's what. Exactly. That's why you're supposed to take responsibility for the shit. See, you're trying to unpair the two all the time. You want to be the mother, but you don't want to take the responsibility of being the senior person of the relationship. So, well, you can't have it both ways. That's a contradiction too. Do you understand that? That's very obvious to see as well. Next, this should never happen. Yeah, it didn't happen. Next, even if we have some issues, this isn't allowed. No, me expressing myself in a figurative manner to show you the contempt I have for you righteously, I'm brought to righteous anger, and I will show the contempt that I have for you and for what you're doing. It's correct. Guess what? Even Jesus Christ, was he depicted being nice and smiley all the time? Oh no, he was actually flipping over other people's tables at a fucking temple. Huh? That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, but he's Jesus Christ. Yes, and we all are. We all are able to flip tables when we get mad. It's normal. Right, what are you going to tell yourself that? That it's not normal? You can't say that because he did it. But if you admit it's normal, you admit that it's fine for us to get mad. See, so you lose either way. But I knew that from the beginning. So that's why you should just stop and bow and realize you lost before you even started this game. Bow. Stupid idiots. God hates people who do wrong, but then don't kill themselves for doing it. It'll kill you for you. Fucking morons. Hurt yourselves so that the link of the pain gets matched like Pavlov's dogs to the shit you did that deserved it. Then maybe you'll stop. Get it? It's that easy. Hurt yourselves, or we'll do the figurative hurting for you, since after all, ostracization is analogous to a cutting off that's synonymous with figurative death, so to speak. Ostracization was equated with death in the old age, and it still is today. Emotionally, it's a similar impact. So you will be dead to us, in a sense, when we cut you off and drill your reputation down where it belongs, because Christ told me to tell the assembly. That's why I'm protected by God in order to tell other people what you do. So, and you're not protected by God. God hurts you even more when you try to fight against it. See the magical God equation you're operating in? You're swimming against the current because you're failing. But she continues, you need to treat people how you want to be treated. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And here's something that you may not consciously realize about me, but you should, and other people kind of do. Here's how I talk to some of my friends when I tell them about things that other people do against me that's not right. Or if you're someone in my life and you do something that's not right, I'll usually say this. If I really want to break through to them, I'll be like, listen, number one, I wouldn't treat you this way that you've treated me. And then number two, I'll always say this. I'll say, and you know what? If you ever would see me do that, you should punch me in the face. You should fucking knock my head off. You should fucking stab me. You should fucking throw me in a fucking pit. I treat people exactly how I want to be treated. I tell them, dude, literally kill me if I ever do this to anyone. That's why when Jesus wrote, watch yourselves. See, I'm the only one who takes that seriously. Watch yourselves so that you don't do the thing. Because you should be walking around saying, everybody make sure to burn my face off at the nearest opportunity if I ever offend anybody. Genuinely, it's totally my fault and it's a total dick-ass move. Take a fucking gasoline and set me on fire. If you start living like that, you will be fucking godly. Because you'll actually the self-fear, like, accept the pain. Say, yes, everyone please kick my ass now if I get out of line. You will self-regulate, therefore, to never get out of line. I am treating people exactly how I want to be treated. I want people to treat me this way if I ever do the same thing. That's why I treat you this way, because I'm not breaking the golden rule. Do this to me, please, when I fuck up. That's why I don't. But when you do, I will do it to you. You're stupid. Get it? Next. Left you hot food outside your door the way you didn't want. How many times? I'm sure my whole audience is laughing like crazy right now. Oh, you mean that thing that many times in this conversation and in other segments in the conversation I said never do that because that's extremely offensive. I'm not a dog. Don't leave me food. If you want to bring anything to me, present it properly. Oh, so you won't speak to me this week, but you know, I'm still going to dominate your life by controlling your food and your intake. See, it's all sick. I'm 30 something. No. But I'm not good. It's not. You're not good enough to be spoken to by me since I'm ignoring you. But so I'll just leave food against your permission, even if you don't want to. I'll violate your autonomy and your wishes because I don't regard you as a human being. Ah, what's narcissism? Not regarding people's wishes as a human being. You get it? If I told you many times, I'll practically I'll go nuts. I never really went fully nuts. The most I ever did in response to her continuing to leave food, which she actually kept doing, is I looked, opened the door, saw the food. I'm like, okay, this is like the 20th time. So now you got to get the message. Took the food, went back to her apartment, and threw the food at her fucking door and left it there. Okay. I mean, what does it take? That's like, oh, interesting story. Is that drastic? Wait, you said that was like 20 times ago? Right. Maybe that's not drastic. Maybe it required that. It necessitated that level to break through to the stupid crusty head that's too crusty to understand things quickly. Why did I have to do that? Why did I have to go to that level? Because the first 19 times before that, you didn't honor me when I said once. When a man speaks once, bow or have God hurt you immediately. That's the only equation for you. There's nothing else, defiers. There's nothing else. Why are you all so slow? Jesus. Huh? But your delusion is, oh, what are you talking about? That's good. Not good if God told you not to, and every man is God of his own life. Practically, as far as you're concerned, another's life he is his own God over his life relative to you. You're nothing in his life till he lets you be. You don't understand that, psychopaths and cluster B personality types. It's outside your programming. Bad. Get it? Next. Left pine pollen, left this. Okay, we'll help you this month if you work on your case. Oh, conditional love. Remember that, guys. So cluster B type personalities are the only ones that will give conditional love. All other feminine entities give unconditional love. But remember, I will do this only if you do things that I say. So I'm the controller ultimately. It's all about sick control and conditionality. So go curse yourself and be cursed. Next. Oh, go to the ER or the doctor and get a diagnosis. Oh. See that? And days later, what did she do? Well, she forced the ER visit. See, because you're not understanding. Because if someone doesn't do something the way I want to, I'll just take control to make it happen. And in her brain, that's fine. No, that's okay. Because she wanted it and it didn't happen. So therefore, she gets to do it, force it to go to how she wants. Right? Wrong. That's another wrong. So all these things are going to be itemized, tabulated, and calculated against you. Every single thing counts. If you do it wrong, you have to go, oh, it hurts because I did that. Okay, God, I'm sorry. Oh, I won't be the one physically beating you, but we have to simulate your pain. How will we do that? Put you on the reputation, publicize you one by one. I mean, what does it take? Hold you down and fucking keep your eyes open like from that movie, and just as you horrifyingly watch it, like charge number 73, and you have to shame in your heart. Oh God, it hurts. Only the pain unlocks your freedom. That's what you're not understanding. Because your crusted over heart, it sits there dry. It's calcified. So it's like impervious to when I shame you. It's not shameable. You're just like, no, so what? No. You have to hurt. It's the only way. You have to hurt. I hope God makes it you hurt. Get it? So that you learn how to be. You have to regret that you did anything wrong against me ever to begin with, ever. This is the only thing. Because you never will do wrong and then it's fine. No, every wrong makes me hate you more till the pressure explodes. You fucking get it? And you'll never be free. You're always hurting yourself more at the end. It will always hurt you to go against me. It will always hurt you to go against me. It will always hurt you to go against me. Forever repeat. There is no escape from that God fact of hardened, drilled, chiseled in stone fucking life. It will never escape it. You fucking get it now? There'll be a day where it's not only being yelled at over through a fucking video. God willing. Unless you're smart enough to stop your stupid shit now. Other people have to get involved because you're so stupid and disgusting. Ah, I heard you think now. Oh, look at that, he's talking to me. No, that's the conceited, broken part of you again. That doesn't understand you're supposed to get spoken to like this when the first million shits didn't work. Anyone would agree. Kinda, he's right. Yeah, like, you're driving your own son crazy. Lady, that's the fucked up thing you're doing. Kinda, you should be fucking getting knocked in the head by now, practically speaking, figuratively speaking. Because you really, he wouldn't be acting like this if you were normal. You don't fucking get it? But so it's all about control. Go to the ER. Do this, do that. Fuck you. Burn yourself on fire. I'll do what the fuck I want. Stupid piece of shit. Fucking idiot. I know I'm supposed to get a medical diagnosis for the medical issues I have, which I've been trying to take care of for months already, which is difficult because of diagnostic limitations with the MRI machines that I've been speaking with fucking top MRI people in the country in fucking Albany about this shit. I'm doing more than you. Shut up. Why am I screaming in fucking the park every day? Because every day you let the sun set without begging for forgiveness, you spit on God himself. Which angers me. You're not just violating me, you're violating his insistence on how good life and universal dynamics are supposed to be. Do you get that? You blind pigs. Well, real respect is, my son, I'm sure you're taking care of things and let me know if you need any help. Not, hey, do this, because I said so. Hang yourself. Show yourself how wrong it is to do this. Everyone else sees it because it's aggravating the person you're speaking to, because it's depriving him of dignity, because that's not how he wants to be spoken to. Get it? Two adults, moron. Only narcissistic and cluster B types think it's anything different than that, what I just said. What do you mean? Here's how they think. What do you mean? All I know is I'm mother, so I'm superior, so I will always just tell my son what to do, and they're supposed to just say, okay. Shoot yourself. Now you're solved. Spoke with a clinical psychologist yesterday. He would like to talk to you. See, it's all about control framing. It's not, John, would you like to come speak with someone? See how better that is? So why can't your stupid calcified brain figure out that that's better? No. The way you say it is everything. The same kind of substance, but in the right form, is the difference between the right form so it hits properly because it's the right substance, or it's given the wrong way so it now is the wrong thing. I'll tell you. Clinical psychologist. Remember, narcissism is all about taking your scapegoat, chronically framing that something's wrong with him so that he has to be fixable, but first he has to agree with our collective view, like consent to the game that you're the scapegoat. So every tactic is an attempt to get me to agree with, yes, I am broken. Yes, I am broken. If anything, I'm broken. It's not something that's apart from what you did. Therefore, you're the fault for it. So you don't get to hurt someone, then laugh at them and tell them, go see a psychologist because I fucked you up, so now you're fucked up, so you go do what I tell you now. That's double domination. But I wanted zero of it from the beginning, and I won't have any of it. Stop it. Fucking sick. You don't say, I did this and he wants to do that. It's not, I'm telling you what authority wants to manhandle you in the way I decide because I'm dictating like God. It's, you're God. Let me ask you what you want. Thank you, please. Do you understand? All adults speak to each other like this. Not fucking this disgusting shit. Next, I correctly say, exactly, because I knew then what I know now. I said, yeah, where did my spit hit you? Exactly. That's the first question. Second question, I said I'm ready to go at any time once I have two people with me. This is to protect. Exactly. Already I have to defend. Because we're dealing with a fucking twisted piece of shit. You said you'll get Anthony for this. So what happened? Several weeks and you can't secure this? Obviously you're not taking it seriously enough. I said, answer both questions clearly. Where did my spit hit you? Because I know it didn't. Oh, so by the way, just track this conversation, audience, to see where she will claim I hit her with my spit. Because if she says, firstly, you spit on me, and then I say, where? And then she doesn't clarify, well, it was on me, it was exactly here. Because if you were spat on, you would remember where on your body and your nerves on your skin the spit hit. So you can always, for the rest of your life, you'll say, I remember it hit me here. That's where the spit was, and I had the spit on me here. Right, so that would be normal. So therefore, if you can't answer that question, that's funny business. Then that's a lot like the holes in the wall. He was punching holes in the wall. Barbara, no, he wasn't. Apparently, there's no holes at all. Why would you tell me there was holes in the wall? Oh, I don't know. Like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know. I just say things. Verbal diarrhea of the mouth about things that's not real. Sick. Next. Why have you not done what it takes to secure the favorable circumstance necessary for any approach of ours to an ER to be reasonably secure? That's because I have a better handle of my own fucking symptoms and medical, let's be clear. There's a separate medical issue going on in my life, and it is what it is. Right, so if my mommy is concerned about my fucking medical health, right, be concerned. Don't fucking dictate orders, stupid fucking bitch. Actually, yeah, no, you deserve to be called a bitch. I'm immune because you're a piece of shit. Good. No, but the part in your brain that thinks, look at him, rip it out, go, you got it, God, finally, you got it, is me, it is my fault, That's the first fucking proper step of this whole fucking life. Thank God if that happens. Thank God. That's the thing. Thank God. Get it? Don't hyper-manage what you don't even know. Admit you know nothing and then fucking get out of the fucking way. Stupid. Because in all cases and in every instance where I'm mad at you, it's because I've been waiting for you to do something that you have failed to do. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That you had the moral obligation to be on top of, but you didn't stay on top of it. My father had the same complaint about my mother, Barbara. He was like, you know, she's okay as a person, I guess, but, you know, I can't complain. At least why? Because doctrine of unclean hands. Many other people could complain, but he left her, so he can't complain. See that? Why does everybody else understand things intuitively that Barbara has to get lessons when she's 60-something? She still doesn't understand anything. It's a little pathetic, don't you think? So, but he would go on and say, you know, your mother's all right, but really, my God, she's never on top of anything. What the hell is that? I said, I know, I'm trapped. It's like I have a mindless robot. It's a bad robot. It's not even a good robot. It's a poor quality fucking robot for a mom. It's misprogrammed, and it stays misprogrammed. Fuck. It's really bad. He's like, yeah, for sure, I could see very clear. She's not on top of anything. I'm like, I know. So God help me, okay? Fucking hell. So I continue on. That you agreed to do or otherwise acknowledge should be done? Yeah, exactly. You don't get this? Exactly. I pat myself on the back again because I got it right again. Good job, John. That's exactly the right thing to say in this situation. See how I keep saying the right thing at every point and she kept saying something stupid at every point? Anyone can see this. That's why I'm showing it. It's objective, the words themselves. So every human being with eyes can look at it to see if they see. All eyes can only see the same thing, but only broken minds will make differing interpretations. So, next. That's why everything is a problem. Basia, which is her Polish name, Barbara Basia. Basia is supposed to do something. She promised or agreed, and then she doesn't do it. Then I protest to you, and then you don't hear me, but you spin the issue into a new, different issue, the one you're doing here, in order to perpetuate the abuse of me. The abuse is the unkindness that you started. Get it? I hate you for this. Do what the fuck a normal mommy does and be normal and loving, or go kill yourself. And I don't regret saying that. And remember, I'm gonna kill you or go kill yourself are metaphorical expressions in the English language. We've shared this already on screen, and I'm saying it again. I'm not telling you to literally kill yourself. I'm speaking to you metaphorically and figuratively. Kill yourself. The point to have you get is that when I yell at you, it's because you deserve it. Exactly right. That's the point. But when you try to spin it on me, it can only be that I deserve it if your vision was correct to begin with. So there's a very good Bible quote about that, about how you need to be sure you have the clear vision first before you start telling other people how to clear their vision. Because trust me, your vision's not clear. But I can demonstrate objectively here that your vision is the one that's not clear. Next, the correct thing to do is to apologize and repent and atone, not to fight, you fucking dummy. Again, because we reviewed this earlier. Agree with your adversary. Don't fight with your adversary. Agree when you're wrong. And if you can't see, well, if you're a woman and you're arguing with a man, already you were wrong by default. That part is already in the Bible. So stop right there. Trust us, you're wrong. You just haven't realized it yet. That's the principle. No, really, it's true. It's not just sexism, allegedly. Really, you are actually truly wrong. We're really seeing it, and we just re-demonstrate it out openly every time you try to dare challenge masculine power, thought, higher wisdom, and higher minds. Next, God will rip away from your life because you don't come to my door kneeling. Haven't you been complaining of cancer-consistent test results? Wow, I told you. Every curse I state comes true. But God doesn't mediate curses into existence when I send them up to his jurisdiction unless he agrees with me that you deserve it. Really spend the rest of your life thinking about that one. God won't grant it unless it's cool with him too. He needs my permission because I'm the one you wronged. When I give him jurisdiction to do my battle for me, if he agrees that I'm in the right and you're in the wrong in his heavenly court, he breaks the person's face immediately within 12 hours, as you saw in that person, or sets a fire in your home that burns your boyfriend the way I said it would within 6 days. Or when we've been talking about your life, now it's threats to your life from health that came immediately after you continued your course of action despite the warnings. So why do you keep challenging God? Why do you keep fighting God? You clearly don't see God's been on my side the whole time. Because God's on the side of the one who's right. And as soon as you demonstrate that it's right, you get a witness to see that it's right. It's like locked into reality, and then God he just says, just give me the word and I will bring justice. And I say, yes, I grant you, make justice, declare this, declare that. And he'll speak through me, my mouth will move, and then you'll experience the thing I say. It never fails. But if you know this, why are you still fighting? Want to wait for the next one? It might be a car accident to someone. Oh. That means I'm not going to be turning nuts and bolts under your cars. I'm just saying I might speak something into existence. The next defense you give where you shouldn't have given it, I'll say something, and then that's going to happen totally apart from me at the physical level, but definitely in connection to me at the metaphysical level. If God will have it be, because that's all up to him. I say God says or God mediates it by implication. Figure it out. How to live this life correctly. And what the price is when you don't. I don't have to do a damn thing or lift a finger. I just speak it into existence. Now you should be trembling. When you are the one who has wronged me abusively for 20 years, to the point that I've brain damage, literally, you do not put conditionalities and stresses into my life. You'll be crushed by God for doing that. Because I have an extremely hard medical set of issues, and it's affecting my quality of my life extraordinarily. So you think that, oh my God, first of all, this is a lot for a mother to do against her own son in any normal case where both of them might be healthy. But if the son has brain damage, potentially or apparently, wait, this is true? And neurological damage? And the mother is aware of this? Oh, yes, I was aware of this. Ho, 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 ho. And this is how you treat your son when he has all of this going on? Oh, but I don't care. I just yell at him or make mean things without even thinking. Oh, no, you will really suffer. Every cancer you get, every pain, every terrible thing. Yeah, because you keep hurting people without care. And when they tell you to stop, you don't care. So of course you have to be hurt back by God. Oh, and then you show up to a fucking meeting. Oh, I have this concern, I have that concern. I'm like, no fucking wonder. Of course you'd have these concerns. God's putting them there because you're fucking... God protects people who do correct. You're not getting that part. Every burden, every plague in your life is deserved by you for you. Next, I don't do anything you offer or condition. You get it? If you're at war with me, then I don't listen to you, basically is what I'm saying. I don't make deals with you. You lose. First of all, you never had the power to say anything, but you definitely can't be at odds with me, antagonistic, and then also fucking bark commands, you psycho. Only a narcissist would do that. Ah, now we begin to distinguish the truth. You're disgustingly arrogant to state things to me. You don't state anything. You're guilty of abuse. You cried and confessed it's true several months prior. That's right, in early 2022, yeah. You cried and confessed it's true that you made the mistake. I have not forgiven you yet. Because you are the one who delays to make the atonement this whole time. You're still hiding. You're still withholding the atonement. Your only obligation is to do what it reasonably takes to merit and earn forgiveness for your original abuses of all these past years. That's why I yell at you and I'm angry. Because you dream you can withdraw your emotional payment and service, and to do that without any consequence back to you. You are below me, as one who is in probation is below us all, and below the state, serving and losing their rights. Until you honor the one you harmed, doesn't matter that I'm your son, it's worse to harm your son because then you have to stoop the lowest, because you as a parent have to then become the servant of your son. So therefore, that's why a parent will never harm your own children, because then you become the slave of your children. Because the general principle is, karmically, you become the slave of every person you hurt. You get that? You become the slave of every person you hurt. You give them the karmic right to your soul when you offend them. Because that's the sin debt ledger. So when I call in the debt and invoke it when you don't pay, I get jurisdiction over your soul. So it's that easy. That's everything. That's not just you and me. That's all offenses of all time. Because when one beacon of consciousness acts to offend another beacon of consciousness, that's the energetic metaphysical exchange that's happening. That's God regulation, God law, God rule. That's the programming of the matrix. Next. Honor me correctly and make up for the damage. That is to atone, fix the mistakes you made. Your behavior the last several days is inconsistent with you begging for forgiveness the way you should be. This is why you are low in my eyes. Amazing how, look, you know the woman is either dumb or narcissistic, or like retardation low IQ. But if it's not really retardation low IQ, then narcissism is or cluster B personality is the only excuse or explanation reasonably left. You're not stupid. You can't be stupid. I'm telling you clearly with words what the deal is. So now that I've said it once, but I've said it 10,000 times already by this point. So this is already being stuff that's repeated. But I should only say it once. It should be a permanent imprint on your mind forever. Oh, now I understand how life works. Yes, that is correct. I have to learn and conform. I fucking get it. I learned something once. I know it. I change my operation immediately, forever. Anyone who doesn't do that is a fucking broken human. You're broken neurons. This is why you are low in my eyes. Every response you say that has the effect of angering me more, like this shit you wrote to me here, that's a karmic burden on your head, I write. For parents, do not provoke your children to the point of wrath, quoting the Bible. True principle. For the implicit command to parents, when the command is honor your mother and father, is parents, don't do anything that makes you dishonorable. Because you're not allowed to not be honored. So therefore, if you're the parent, you're the one responsible for ensuring that you remain honorable. Because God also said it's a sin to follow parents who are sinning. And offending anyone is a sin. Offending the karmic law of life. Mind you, if it were a parent who's like the masculine parent, my father treating me this way, that's different, because masculine yang has the authority to instruct. So if my father Jeffrey were acting like this, I wouldn't be able to take offense. I would just have to say, yes, father, yes, father, yes, father. See, that's not offensive. That's good. That's him being a good father. And I'd be listening. Okay, if I argue a little bit, then I'm not such a great son. But if he's wrong, then yeah, then he should hear me too. So you see that? But your mom, no, your mom's stupid. The fuck? Shut up. You're not even supposed to be you're just supposed to be the helper. Get out of here. Gotta boss shit around. Stop it. You're extremely angering me with your vile, arrogant, antagonistic, warlike, and unfeminine conduct. You press rock against rock, it's gonna be an explosion. I'm gonna win, though. You don't fight a man, you honor a man. Get it right. That's right. You don't fight man. You honor man. Woman, that's your only job. Don't get it twisted, or you'll be Eve all over again, making bad things happen. Because you don't know how to realize that it's Satan. Adam would have realized that Satan. That's why Satan didn't approach Adam, because he's too smart. Eve is not smart, so he believes Satan makes sense. You believe Satan makes sense. This mode of acting, Mom, that's Satan. That's a manifestation of satanic programming in action. Stop it. Two things for you to realize. Number one, you are the one who owes me. And number two, and you're not giving what you owe, which is the atonement, the repentance, and the true feminine grace of like conceding. You bow. You repent. You have remorse. So therefore, because you don't show that, and even amazing how much later would happen, things, all these things more, and to this day she doesn't have the remorse necessary to really like, I fucked up, I know, I'm sorry, please God, please. Until you get to that moment in your life, you're the devil. Until you get to that moment in life, you are Satan. You're the one and the same. Exactly. So therefore I said, therefore you are bad. Yes or yes? Next. Answer the questions I initially asked. Oh yeah, that's right. Where did my spit hit her? She won't say anything about it, I bet. I think I remember correctly on that. And then say whatever you want to say, but consider your words carefully. If you channel grandma's attitude, her mom, who's also kind of strict, but the more I've thought about it, the more I realize actually my mom is worse than my grandma. She's worse. I remember interacting with my grandma. My grandma had the feminine instinct. It was inert, but it was still present. My mom doesn't have it at all. Huge difference. When I would get upset, my upset would always turn my grandma's heart. Every time. It was no such thing that my grandma would continue repeating more sternly something. If she saw that something that was going on was overbearing on me, my grandma immediately stopped and turned around and lessened the pressure. That's the good and normal yin healthy thing to do. Even my grandma did that. I remember that very clearly. And so therefore I love my grandma. I can never say I love my mom. I don't. I love my grandma because she lovingly treated me. Because there was a healthy dynamic where if I got upset, she backed down and comforted my heart. Good, thank you. That's what a man needs. Show your womanly, normal, good programming. That's a part that you're missing in your brain. If you channel the correct attitude, such as that of Jadik's or Grandpa's, yeah, well, I respected him a lot too and loved him very much so. Perhaps, żeby być w zgodzie, or to be in agreement, there's a much better chance for the proper outcome in the eyes of God. Everything I'm saying here today seems to make a lot of sense, doesn't it? In your sick mind, your desire to tell me, you do this, you go to ER. Any other normal mother I say, my son, let me come with you to the ER. And what else do you need? How else can I help you? Ah, see the difference? Ah, get it finally for once in your fucking life. 30 years of repeating the same thing. But when we told you the first million times, why didn't us telling you this make you change? Because borderline personality disorder, which is cluster B type realm, what did Jordan Peterson indicate? He said, those are the types. Those are the only types. Cluster B zone, that's what you're dealing with. The only type of person where you'll logically know what's kind of right or not right. But even whatever you think you know logically, for this type and only this type, it won't matter. There's some kind of separate inability that despite us talking about it logically, like, yes, we know that makes sense. It just, there won't be a change of action. And my mom is exactly like that. Potora. Potora. It is differences like this that are everything. You are missing something in the normal female mother nurture program. There is never nurture from you. That's not good. That's very sick. There never has been since I was a baby. Remind me to show an additional baby picture that I forgot to show from my previous playlist, the Honoring Barbara playlist. As a previous argument from the year two years ago prior. Why is there a new argument now? She didn't learn from the Honoring Barbara series. Honoring was a euphemism. I told myself if another problem happened again, I wasn't going to use a euphemism. I was going to use the real word. You're being rebuked. So now it's called the Rebuke of Barbara Winslow playlist. Because you keep not learning when we give you easy chances earlier on, but you still forego them anyway. Why do you do that? Broken, get it? Growing up with you felt like sleeping on sandpaper. True. You are so stupid. You do not even realize human nature. I already hate you so much because of how you are. So when you tell me, do this, do that, even if I was going to, now only because you said it, I'm going to do the opposite, just so that you could die inside. Because I will not align with you when you're not aligned with me. Because it has to punish you to have ever dreamed to start a problem, an offense, and fault against me to begin with. That's correct godly programming. That's my godly obligation. So if I pray to God every day, or if I'm following God, well, God tells me what? Quote from the book of Luke from the Bible. Christ said, do you think that I've come to give peace on earth? No, I tell you. Me, Jesus Christ, has not come to bring peace on the earth, but rather division. Ah, wrap your minds around this, students. From now on, what will be happening is that families will be split apart, which is the good, correct thing that he wants. You say, why is that? Because the prior system was a misunderstanding of the law, such that if there's a faulty tradition or faulty way of being, we'll just honor that, for even though it's faulty, but just for the sake of keeping a false surface piece, but in the substance actually chasing the wrong path. So, and then as it goes from parents to children, at one point it stops. So when the parents want to say, do our way, but you upregulated your GABA B by following Christ so that you understand, oh, I actually see what the real God way is, but it's against mommy and daddy. Therefore, he says, so what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to divide. That's okay to be division. Rebuke is good, even if it's against your family and parents. 3 in favor of me, 2 against. So 2 and 3 against. They'll be divided. Father against son, son against father. Mother against daughter, daughter against mother. Mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. So the idea is, the respective older and younger will be split because the younger will be rebelling from the older, but by a good rebelling. Like we want to rebel from bad traditions so we can follow right Christ-like teachings even more. But what did he not say? He didn't say mother against son. Do you notice that? Why did he say father against son, son against father? Mother against daughter, daughter against mother? Because even Jesus couldn't imagine such a sick dysfunction that a mother would permit a division between herself and the opposite gendered child, the son, who's grown. Because the Bible already made clear, even in the old times and in the new, A woman's not allowed to mess with the affairs of man. Man is higher position. Mother's just there to smile. That's all you're supposed to do. You never figure that part out, but he says it right here. It's very clear. Why you keep breaking God? Why you keep breaking the commandments? So back to this. Exactly right. It's all about us correctly teaching you when you're being dumb, rebuking you. You're not immune from rebuke. Jesus never preached the doctrine of, well, parents are immune from rebuke. Don't rebuke. No, he said anyone who you're supposed to be aligned with that does wrong to you, that's right. That's why even Islam also correctly distinguished. They got it too. They're like, we figured out already that if you mindlessly follow parents, that actually also leads to dysfunction. So you're allowed to think for yourself correctly. If you're an adult and you realize even your mother and father are wrong, you have an obligation to justice and not to your mother and father. You're supposed to correct your mother. She's supposed to listen to your correction too and become corrected. Nothing else. Or you're breaking against God. Get it? So I continue on. So I do it so that you could die inside, because you are killing me when you do not respect me. Imagine back to Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. Talk about the woman steps on the respect inflation, the hose, and you deflate, you cutting off the fuel. That's the worst thing you can do. That's why not even Christ posed the position where he imagined mother cutting off against son. That's the most ungodly thing of them all. It's the deepest sick. You're not allowed. All women must worship all men. So I'll torture you too, metaphorically speaking, and it will go forever until it will feel like torture to you, rather. It's not actual torture. The catalyzation of your learning is the chronic torture you remain in for as long as you resist to learn. Then when you learn, it stops being torture, and finally, I get it now. Oh my God, I was wrong. Oh my God, I am remorseful, hopefully. And on and on. You will beg and yield, then I fucking am the man. You got it? Because I'm correct, I'm smarter, but you try to challenge me, so my godly duty is to strike you back down until you learn your place again. Stupid. Oh, exactly, I wrote, or are you stupid? He's the same that. It's perfect. I give myself another high five again. Exactly. Everyone who's watching this who's not fucking us must be like, I can't believe the mother was so stupid to fuck up for so long to gradually cause him to come along this far. This didn't just happen one day. This is 20 plus, 25 plus years of abuse piled on slowly over time. That's the fucking travesty. Anyone else can see that. And that's the mother's fault. 99.9%. You already did the wrong, but you forgot to act sorry or atone, so therefore you will pay. Here's a third question. Why the hell would I want you to do anything? Why would I want to do anything that you say if you're not honoring me? Why would I do anything, make any consideration for you? Exactly. If we're antagonized, we're cut off. You're cut off. I'll tell you no to everything. Then what? What are you going to do? Mistreat me some more? Huh. That's exactly how I get you in the further karmic trap. You're stupid enough to recommit new offenses, which she is. Oh my God, is she? She really keeps doing it. That's why I think God keeps hurting you more, because you keep falling into the karmic traps. What are you going to do? Argue to this video too? That's just a new trap with a new curse that's attached to it that hits you again. Yeah. Keep doing it. Keep getting yourself cursed. Stupid. How stupid are you going to be? Right. That's the point we need to start realizing now. This is really, really stupid of you. So why don't you get it yet? I continue. You keep granting me, therefore, more karmic jurisdiction, because your own nature is so broken and twisted that it doesn't understand how to accurately succeed and keep the family spirit floating correctly. Because that's the thing you're supposed to do. Yin nourishment of your children, particularly your sons, but of course all your children. Well, I'm your only child. You fuck up even. Oh my God, if there's many children, I would understand how some of them could fall through the cracks. I'm the only fucking job you had and you fucked it up. What the fuck? So if I starve, I'm happy that you're stupid enough to allow it. Get it? Because then my satisfaction is gained, because I know God takes care of me anyway. He tells me, Jesus tells me, quote, so I tell you, don't worry about the food or drink you need to live, or about the clothes you need for your body. Life's more than food and the body's more than clothes. He says, look at the birds in the air. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, but your heavenly Father feeds them. And you know that you are worth much more than the birds. You cannot add any time to your life by worrying about it. GABA B means zero anxiety. Get it? It's all consistent. I know what happened to the man who was Yeshua, what happened to his nervous system and his GABA B receptor density when he went through the 40-day starvation. And why do you worry about clothes? Look at how the lilies in the field grow. They don't work or make clothes for themselves. But I tell you that even Solomon, with his riches, wasn't dressed as beautifully as one of these flowers. Wow. That's the highest IQ thing I've ever heard become expressed in all of my fucking life. That's incredible. That is the one human being who I could see even his GABA B density is higher than mine. That's fucking mind-blowing, and I got chills all over my body reading that. Very few things will have that effect on me, because I pre-get almost everything, but that's just truly fucking incredible insight. That's right. God clothes the grass in the field, which is alive today, but tomorrow it's thrown into the fire. So you can be even more sure that God will clothe you. Don't have so little faith. Don't worry and say, what will we eat, or what will we drink, or what will we wear? The people who don't know God keep trying to get these things. See? Try to spend effort and energy. Ah, what a true teaching. Absolutely perfectly consistent with Buddhism. Or Buddha was the other guy who starved for 49 days to get his GABA B upregulation. And your Father in heaven knows you need those things that you're trying to get. So seek first God's kingdom and what God wants, then all your other needs will be met as well. That's a yin approach. So he's teaching people to become more yin on the whole. But females, feminine yin really needs to be yin. The hard part is teaching men to become more yin, which was the challenge for him as well. 2,000 years later, a lot of the world has stayed yang, and well, it all continues on in the balance or imbalance. We'll see. So don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will have its own worries for itself. Yeah, each day has enough troubles for its own. Amazing. Amazing. So therefore, as I said, if I starve, I'm happy that you're stupid enough to allow it. My satisfaction's gained because I know God takes care of me at the end anyway. But even though I'll be fine in the end, you won't be, because you committed the sin of allowing your son to starve when you had the power to do different. That's a curse. For therefore, because of that, you'll have only blackness. It will never end being this way until you go back to God. God says, love your son the way Jesus loves you. Stop and ask yourself today, have you loved your son the way Jesus loves you? Unless it's an automatic and emphatic yes, you fucked up. For even in cases where the counterpart person is outright evil, then what does God say? Quote, but I am saying to you, you shall not rise up against or resist an evil person. But whoever strikes you on your right cheek, they say, go resist it, call the police, call Caesar, put charges, accuse, go to court, do this, do that, order of protection. No, he says, turn to him the other. Did you do that? Did you do that yin thing, which is to be passive and accept it? Oh, you didn't? Oh, you tried to resist? Ah, so that's why you're cursed, because you broke the God law. Ah. And whoever wants to sue you and take your coat, agree with it and also leave him extra? Whoever compels you to go 1 mile with him, or compels you to sit down at a meeting every Sunday, do it even more. Go with him 2 miles. So did you stay with your word and agreement to agree to meet regularly, or did you resist it and force against it? Ah, so therefore you're cursed. So you open the jurisdiction for me to go, ah, you're wrong. And then God says, yes, I agree, because my law was this. So she broke that, not you. Therefore, she's guilty. Therefore, curse on her soul. Ah, you see how easy now? Stop fucking up so often that you let your own soul constantly take the curses. He's teaching you to be yin. Are you being yin, Mom? Or are you trying to demand, constrict, restrict, compel, withdraw, coerce, and otherwise antagonize, blame, accuse? Read again what Christ wrote. When someone wants you to be a certain way, your godly job is to do exactly that, especially if you're the yin gender already by designation. Let's take a pause for a second and think about what our audience must think. Everybody, Anthony particularly, even my own mom herself, as she re-experiences the same conversation which was given to her. But anyone else in the future who might be watching this, if they're in the position to, they think, wow, this is actually a really high-level course on all the right things. She's getting amazing high-level promptings. Like, you have like a prophet for a son. You would think that if you have a prophet for a son, you'd have the, you'd get the automatic easiest, you should be the first one to get it the easiest. They're watching all of this get set. Says, wait a minute, Barbara Winslow read all of this already? How did she look at this? Supposedly she should have come into understanding and acceptance of this, because this is correct. So how did days later she go and call the police and then not talk to you for 7 months? Whoa, it's like something doesn't click. It's like you told her, but even though you told her, some part of her mind, it had to be that in her head it's okay to not get this. So that's the part that every other normal human being doesn't understand about you, Barbara Winslow. We don't understand. Wait, if you saw this isn't new information. This is new to my witness, and this will be new when someone's seeing this as a whole story. Anyone who's watching is like, hey, this isn't new to you. Why do you keep making the same mistakes then? This guy John is right, apparently. What the hell? If you were told all this, then you should have known already by now to stop. You got many, many clear warnings, the really well argued and stated things. Oh my God, this woman is dumb. That's what they all conclude. This woman really is just dumb. She deserves all she gets. That's it. Alright, so continuing on. I wrote then, when you fail, Mom, God curses you as a natural consequence in life to do all the things that happen, that you do wrong. Therefore, live life correctly, or you'll naturally have problems. As a general rule and tendency. 100% true. Stop manufacturing shit. Don't slant and invent false slants on which false claims stand that are disingenuous, that only serve to thwart or attempt to invert or draw the attention away from the real thing, which everyone can see clearly. But furthermore, all attempts to falsely draw attention away must and only can result in only more bad attention to you until the Pavlovian rewiring is complete and you realize how to Pavlovianly be a good person. Is that possible? Maybe. It's the second best thing we have in this life when we don't have a true empath capability. All right? Furthermore, I hate you because of how bad of a person you are to me. You don't get it? Fair statement, and an honest one, which is good and correct. God says, better an open rebuke than a fake supposed than a concealment of Yeah, you understand. Now, next. You don't give me full loving respect? I wouldn't do anything for you in that case, because it is you who have wronged me. Do you remember I told you that under any circumstance you're forbidden from leaving food in front of my door unattended like I'm some kind of dog? I said that. That's right. Many times. By the way, you guys might be having a context issue. Look, I want you to understand something. If you've been watching through these playlists and you've seen all these, text conversations, texts from January of this year, 2023 with mom, texts from February 2023 with mom, right? You saw those first, and now you're seeing this, okay? Well, here's the thing. This set of text here happened first. All of this happened first. Then you saw all the other stuff that you already saw. That happened after. Where already over there it was being repeated that much more. No, don't leave food in front of my door. No, don't leave food in front of my door. Now you realize how much more ridiculous it was. Because it was already ridiculous when I was doing the analysis there. You guys didn't even see this part yet. You don't understand how many mountains of repeating it is, and it's every insult is repeated back to me every time. She just ignore. Why not punch yourself in the eye every time you ignore, so that you remember the pain, so that you don't do the offense again. It's an offense to ignore a man when he speaks. That's it. That's it. So don't do it. It's the same offense as if you were to ignore God when he speaks. You understand that? And you swore many times that you fully understood, or at least you stated that you did clearly. I want to know which part of your brain operates with a faulty installing. Good question. That you left food at this door unattended, again without my permission, exactly against my wishes and against my prohibitions. Guys, you saw it here, and then you just continue seeing it later, or repeat it again and again, which was the stuff you saw before. That was earlier in the playlist. Oh my God, see? It's evidencing for everyone. Insanity is insane. Because it doesn't make sense. I clearly say, you dishonor my dictates and my wishes, and you dishonor my rules. That is spitting at my face. You see that? That's the real spitting at someone's face, proverbially. You don't understand respect. It really seems that this is true, but only cluster B personality types have that particular type of neural moral color blindness, so to speak, that they truly don't understand respect. They're like, what do you mean I can't just walk into your apartment whenever I want? I don't really get it. I just pretend I get it until I feel like my decisions are more important than your wishes. That's psychopathy. But all of that is under the cluster B umbrella. That much is absolutely unarguable. Now, you don't understand respect. You keep failing because you can just, you believe you could just forcibly override anything anyone else says or does or wants just by your own self whenever you want. I spit on that. Okay, so, remember earlier I said, yeah, there was one occasion where I threw this food back at the door. It must have been this occasion. Good. It was about time. Somehow she never got the message, though. She didn't connect that food being thrown back at her own doorstep of like, oh, like that insults him. It's such a deep offense. It's like sick. Why am I doing that? I'm ashamed. No, it was offered later again. I want some food. What part of your brain doesn't have bullets in it that you put in there yourself that you didn't understand how to do that? What part of your brain thinks it's fine still? That's the thing. Your broken brain needs to learn how to perfectly respect agreements you consent to and claim to understand. Also respect stuff you don't understand. That much is also true, because it's other people's lives, so you don't have to understand it. You just need to understand to fucking stop, because you're not allowed to trespass, metaphorically, figuratively speaking, on other people's lives. But you try to anyway, so fucking, I hope you get every curse that you deserve. God needs to bring repeated pain into you. Exactly. Same thought again. Impulse is what's here. I'm so smart. Just like from touching a hot stove, until you finally learn what correct living and correct treatment of other human beings looks like. How careless you are to preserve the dignity of someone who, by nature, you're supposed to have the strongest human bond with. That's right, mother and son. That's disgusting to me. To not preserve the dignity of someone, I should rather say. Yeah. God will always measure back to you, therefore, when you break against your word to go against someone. For this you will also apologize or suffer God's wrath. I hope. Now look, finally she replies with something. Now, if you're a normal woman and you saw all that, this should have caused a whole revelation of like, oh my God, like my world, my reality. He's right. He's a man with a brain telling me the correct truth. And oh fuck, I fucked up. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. Oh my God, I have to stop and make up with him because I'm at fault, which is bad. It's bad for me to be at fault, which I am, because it's clear. Because he's angry. If he's angry, I'm at fault. Do you understand that? Yin? Do you understand that? All right, so that's the reasonable person. It would be to take responsibility. So let's see if she took responsibility. First response and only response. Oh, my Chase account is locked, so I can't send you any money now. That's the only thing she wrote. Is everybody who's watching this, are they shocked? Wow, that is a psychopath. That is a narcissist. She has no concern about the fact that you're so hurt that you're having to express these things in this way, which show that how fucked up she is. She just wants to do ploys. Like scorpion, snake, lizard brain. Just no reaction, just as if she's getting hit with bullets, but she doesn't care. She just keeps going forward, like psychopathically almost. Cluster B type for sure. Psychopathy and narcissism and all that is under that big umbrella. So next. I didn't ask for any money now. And I continue. Remember, God will hurt you for being this way. True. Anyone else watching is like, yeah, that's a fucking weird thing for her to say. That makes no sense. It's just an implicit threat of like, oh, don't rock the boat or I won't financially support you. Well, I'm happy to show that that's what you said, because that's an offense too. You see, it's immoral to threaten someone with cutting them off financially when they're sick because they're correctly rebuking you. Ah, see that? But when we all see that, it's like, yeah, that would be messed up for any woman to do that in that particular person's position. So, that's right. That is a distinctive fact. Like, that's more of an insult on top of the previous insult. Well, why does she allow herself to do more insults? Now we see it clear for what it is. So I continue on. Again, never, don't accept the bullshit. Always rebuke the bullshit. I didn't ask for any money. Remember, God will hurt you for being this way. I hope he does. The only way to be in life correctly is the Christ way, Christ or karmic death. You pick, it's up to you, so don't play games. God hates game players. You come clean and serve life and God and your roles correctly, or suffer the karmic death. Haven't I been clear enough? Answer the several questions that I asked you. Notice that when I asked those questions, she didn't answer here. This one thing here was the only thing she said. So therefore she tacitly admits she has no answer for where I hit her with spit. Because the real answer is there wasn't spit. So therefore the real answer is she falsely accused me of spitting on her. So therefore we can now conclude correctly, whoa, she falsely accused you of spitting on her. Now you see. Is it an insult and an offense to falsely accuse someone? Yes, that's crazy. Why would your mom do that? That's fucking wild. Not only does your mom have a moral obligation to forego and let it go whenever you did do something truly wrong, she still has an obligation to let it go anyway. Free grace. All right? And a masculine yang accountability and the ruthlessness of yang will have a tit for tat strict accountability system. So that should be a strict accounting. But when you didn't do something, then no, this is even worse. It's when you didn't do something, we'll make up and exaggerate what you did do that you didn't do. Mental. Get it? No. So don't play games. God hates those types. Answer the several questions. I write to you all of this that I just wrote, and your dumb brain only figures to write, can't send any money now. Hey, it's harsh words, but nevertheless, anyone would read and agree, like, really, by this point, it's so ridiculous what she's doing that she's not immune from being spoken to like this anymore. Because the reasonable risk, the substantial risk, is created that any son who's fucking been disturbed enough by this abuse would react this way. So therefore, the responsibility becomes fully hers, that she's being spoken to like this. So therefore, should we see in her mind is, oh, see, he's bad. He's talking, say, dam, oh, bad. No. Unclean hands means I'm not bad now. Get it? Law. That's a real law. But it's real because God put it there first. And you don't have a brain enough to understand why it works that way. So be quiet then, and always admit that you're not even smart enough to recognize anything about when you're wrong and when you're not wrong. We all get that, because we obviously see you're failing to get when you're wrong. Now, I say, who do you think I am? All suffering you bring goes back to you, which makes me happy. Maybe it shouldn't make me happy, and yet, if it naturally does, whose fault is that for having driven me to that point? Again, reasonable audience would say, yeah, as sad as that is to see, we see she's the one who totally recklessly drove it sloppily to this crazy place on her driving. Every misstep she made carried this place to a worse disaster, and she kept letting it go there. But you, John, you kept warning her, yeah, with these clear messages. She's like, or you guys would be like, yeah, therefore, yeah, you gave her fair warning. Gave her fair warning. She keeps messing up. Oh, okay. So, her only response, on my phone there's no power. Someone took my charger, so I can't read anything until 8 tonight. Even though her phone was on now to write that. So it's all weird. It's like her brain's glitching. You can watch it glitch. I said all this above. Oh, my Chase account is locked. I say all this. Oh, my phone's powered. I can't read. No, glitching, because she can't handle reality. But you need to handle reality. God is reality. So I can just continue on. Don't accept the false slant. You have to frame it with power so that it's true and real. Now, do not make these timely mama control based implicit threats. I'll just remind you that God will continue hurting you more and cursing your whole household. I hope he did. Yeah. 5 or 10 people working with you in an office, and you feign a complete inability to get any power to charge your phone? That's pathetic. You are pathetic for avoiding and being that way about this, all that I'm saying to you. For, go back to the reasonable standard, what would a reasonable, normal, yin-based mom do? She'd say, oh my God, my son, I'm so sorry. I can't believe you're feeling this hurt. I'm responsible for this. Oh my God, that's crazy. I can never allow that to be the case. I'm so embarrassed that I allowed you to get this hurt. Anyone else would be like, yeah, duh, obviously, that's like every mom in the world, except this one. So sorry, John, you got a bad mom, so sorry. Avoidance behavior gets punished by God again. Why do you keep choosing ways of being that constantly deserve punishment from God, that break the God code? Any other mother would be begging anyone around her to borrow a charger so that she can make sure that her son's questions get answered quickly so that he feels respected. Because how he feels would matter to her, to such woman as that, a normal one. With you, it's the opposite. Only with you. Babcha, grandma, created a freak. Mean, but I've been driven to this point because of the abuse, so therefore, it's fully, I'm not guilty for saying mean things, oh, freak. It's like, no, lady, you're fucking driving your son mad that he's saying like this. Why are you abusing him? Get it? So who's responsible? The fucking sick mother. Because why are you acting crazy? Why are you loving your son? That's the only remedy. And it was told to you many times. And you were the curse upon me. Kinda true. A mixed blessing and curse. But an unacceptably large proportion of that which you gave was a hindrance instead of a help. Continue by how sick you act. No love, only cold BS from you. So go to hell. Proverbially or figuratively speaking, but maybe even literally or for real. I think actually really does seem like your ass is going to go to hell. Hell's made for people who are like you. Where the deepest layer of hell, according to Dante's Inferno, is for people who do betrayal. Is calling the police on your son betrayal? Why you keep breaking God code? The problem with you see, is that you just pass off all these sick things as normal. That's called gaslighting. That's right. It's just trying to frame control from her. Just, no, that's okay. No, the way I'm acting's fine. No, that's fine. No, it's not fine. We all see it's not fine. Anyone with eyes can see it's not fine. Oh, my boyfriend doesn't talk to you for 20 years with proper respect. That's okay. He's good, and you're bad, is what my mom tries to frame. So you have the natural fruits that would naturally come from all that crap here that you've posed. All that crap right here is in front of you now. Manifest today. You get it? You fucked up. That's why all our lives are fucked up. Next day, or maybe after midnight, I continue. These are things you needed to hear. Honestly, yeah. Not withholding these expressions from your angry son who you've hurt is not the right thing. Hearing it is. Anyone would agree. It's like, yeah, sad, but it has to happen. It should. That's right. And the mom then should, of course, respond to this normally by realizing this should be the successful cause of the realization that she messed up. So why does she fail to undergo that realization? What else is the thing that she's holding on to where she falsely believes, no, I'm right? What is that? What is the explanation for that? There is none. Not a valid one is possible. But what's her fake one that she has inside? Can she articulate it? Well, that's what Anthony's here for as a mediator now. We're all trying to see, how are you even pretending to be able to think you're justifiable here? So next. So that your mind can receive and reflect this feedback, which came as a matter of course. That's right. Righteous anger is always justified in the eyes of the Lord. One more thing that is actually very important, also is a very important principle. And by the way, I stated this here now so that therefore she gets the message clear, and then later, if she violates this, she gets the full negative karmic debt impact on her soul because she knew this principle. So therefore, when she violates it, she's not doing it out of ignorance, so she becomes fully liable. So I always make sure to warn with the notice so that you know what you're doing, so that if you still do it, you're fully liable. I've washed my hands of it. I did the full rebuke the way I was morally liable to, obligated to. Okay, so next. From earlier this sundown, actually I was referring to something else. I was referring to, and what I was just saying now here, I was referring to the principle of you should never let the sun set on your anger, or you should never let the sun set on the dysfunction. If there's an argument or agreement, you're in the debt of sin. You're sinning if you allow the disagreement to continue for multiple days where you allow it that everyone goes to sleep before it is resolved. Always got to resolve it on the day. If at all possible, you'd never end the day they have to go sleep and it's still not resolved. Imagine how many times the sun went down, we had another day and another day. Each day that goes by you don't resolve is another offense. Why are you offending? Okay, next. One more thing that's important. Now, from earlier this sundown until sundown later beyond the upcoming afternoon is Yom Kippur. This is the highest holiday for all people who are Jewish linked by the soul, which is us actually, yeah. And it is a holiday, the purpose of which is to apologize to people who you have wronged and to give forgiveness. Now, even though there's an interesting history with the Polish and Hitler coming in, and almost all the Polish Jews and Polish had to do like a practically forced conversion to Catholicism. And for generations we stayed Catholic. And yet here we are. And I've been rediscovering some of those roots now, more and more, as we confirmed certain things on the family tree up the maternal line, and then, you all that. That's a separate discussion anyway, but regardless, the purpose of this Yom Kippur is to apologize to people who you have wronged and to give forgiveness to those who merit it where they have come to you properly. There's no Christian or Catholic equivalent for such a holiday. Interestingly, even though Christianity is purportedly the forgiveness-oriented religion, I guess every day is forgiveness, but because of that, no one day is particularly special. But I like that Yom Kippur has the special focus. It's very important. Based on the apologies and forgiveness that you make on this day today, hey guys, get it. I was saying this on Yom Kippur. Probably should, you know, I'm not super, I'm using a phone here, right? Listen, I'm kind of new to all this, but before the upcoming sundown, this upcoming evening, God keeps open the special gates of heaven for this purpose, that he blesses and clears the negative karma of the people on this day who make the amends. You need to read about this here, because my mom knows almost nothing about this stuff. Like I said, yeah, you understand what I said. How our history was affected, what happened on all of us. You need to read about this here and seriously consider what I'm telling you, keeping in mind that from our maternal lines, it appears on its face, we have come from a line of people who've covenanted into the Jewish spiritual body and people. That's right. And I included this link. So let's see what the article was that was brought across to her that she should have read. I'm presuming she did. Here we are. I'm sorry. Hint, hint. I'm showing you, modeling for you what you're supposed to do. I'm handing you the script. Asking the expert. Apologizing. Get that ad out of the way. Okay. How should I say I'm sorry by my Jewish learning? Question. I know Yom Kippur's coming up and I'm supposed to apologize to people. How am I supposed to do that? Should I literally call everyone I know? Post a mass note on Facebook? Miriam from New York. Answer. It's impressive that you're serious about asking for forgiveness before Yom Kippur, Miriam. It's a big responsibility, but it's the right one. But I bet it will feel great to walk into Kol Nidre knowing you've done everything you can to apologize to anyone you've hurt in the past year. First of all, you don't have to apologize to everyone you know, so no need to run up your cell phone bill. You're only required to ask for forgiveness from those whom you know you have hurt, which is why the rebuke command is so important, because we have the obligation to let them know they hurt us. If we fail to let them know, that's why we literally do eat the sin debt up ourselves as the victim instead of passing it and keeping it with the proper place, which is at the feet of the originator. When someone leaves a pile of shit at your door, don't keep it, return to sender. Some halakhic authorities recommend that you apologize to all your friends before Yom Kippur, just in case you hurt someone unknowingly. Yeah, doing this via mass email or whatever is permissible. If you know you've hurt someone, you absolutely should make an apology. Ah, there's your answer. Hey, Mom, if you know something you did cause someone else to become hurt, where you shouldn't have done it, and it's a valid hurt, you absolutely should make the apology, the repentance, in other words, before Yom Kippur. If we're in the Jewish soul link, mother to son, mother to child, we're Jewish. We're technically covenanted. I don't know what the technicality is for, there's a whole other, many aspects to different things in life. But the point is, here we are. If you know you've hurt someone, you absolutely, we said this. You can do this in person, by phone, etc., etc. I don't think writing is best. It should always, in my experience, voice is superior. So in person or by phone at the worst. I spoke with Evelyn from somewhere who, she's a psychologist who studies forgiveness. Good. What makes a good and effective apology? He has a handy acronym he uses. Confess without excuse. Be specific. Don't offer excuses. Offer an apology that gets across the idea that you're sorry and that you don't want to do it again. You can't do it again. That's the only way to atone, is to stay away from repeating the same mistake. Otherwise, you have not made atonement, because it was a disingenuous repentance, because you later come back and do the same thing. You weren't sorry at all, therefore, huh? Okay, N, note the other person's pain. F, forever value. That if you're family especially, you have to value the relationship forever. You're treating it like it's supposed to be a diamond that's worth forever? E, equalize. Offer retribution. Where's the retribution? Say never again, as suggested before. Seek forgiveness. Have any of these things happened in any place that we've seen so far that was meaningful and valid? So, another thing to remember is that they might not be ready to accept your apology. They don't have to. It has to be so clear that anyone else reasonable in that person's shoes would agree that it's a fully merited forgiveness. It's your job to work on it. Now, according to Maimonides, when you ask someone for forgiveness, they're allowed to turn you down. That's right, to a point at least. But the work needs to be yours. They're allowed to turn you down when you haven't truly worked it back fully. And they would know in their heart whether you have or you haven't. You should return a second and third time with witnesses, try apologizing again, and the witnesses should also further deem that you did everything you can. It's not forgive me, but you didn't do the atonement. Okay. Apologizing's hard work. Do it before Yom Kippur. So I'm saying, all right, it's Yom Kippur. So now is the time to apologize. Let's see. So if a mom who's a loving mom got a notice from her son saying, look, it's Yom Kippur, let's apologize, and today's the one chance in a year to have your karmic debt cleared. But I said, if you don't do it now, God's going to be so pissed that you revolted against him on Yom Kippur, showed him such a large disrespect, that he'll give you, for the following year, he'll give you curses like hell, and he'll ruin your health completely. I made this clear, so let's see if that's what happened. Oh, that is what happened. Wow, God works always. So, that was the article. I explained further, I'm fasting the whole day of that holy day from food and water. Now, I don't accept apologies over text, to be clear. Despite what some of these authorities say, I would prefer a phone call or in person, and that's my prerogative. Now, very correctly, they note in Jewish tradition that only those sins and trespasses and offenses that you get forgiveness on directly from the people you have hurt are the ones that God himself can then in turn forgive. The Jews, the Israelites, and also Christ in his teaching both preserve that aspect, which the later spin-off churches sort of forgot in the mix, which is not good. You look at the original words from the books, it's very clear. God can't forgive you if the person has not forgiven you. So has anyone at any point tried to text anyone something like, oh, if someone tries to blame you for your past, just tell them Jesus dropped the charges. No, Jesus didn't drop the charges. Jesus said, if someone held something against you because of something you did, God doesn't want to hear from you and can't forgive you until you go first and get forgiveness from that person. Then God has the jurisdiction to forgive you. Wow. But I said this already, explained it already. So if you ever see that again in the future, you'll know not only is it wrong on its face, because it's obviously wrong on its face, from a person who admitted at one time or another she doesn't understand the Bible or any of that stuff as well as I do, obviously. But it's a double offense and disrespect. It's disrespectful because you should have known better, because it was already explained. See? You gotta follow. Why don't they follow is the part I don't understand. It's so obvious when I say it this way. What's wrong with you slow people, huh? He cannot forgive your sin from above if the person at the peer level here on earth didn't forgive you. And when that person has a right to still be mad at you because you didn't apologize, God can't forgive you. He's blocked from forgiving you, but he has to curse you if you keep withholding repentance. See? That's why it's all working, the stuff I'm saying against you. That's how God actually works. So, next. Rabbi Friedman on forgiveness. A YouTube link. Let's presume my mom came across this and watched this as well carefully. So let's see what it is.
If it's just a matter of apologizing and asking forgiveness, would that take all day, 24 hours? That's groveling. I mean, that's like really being desperate. We sinned, we transgressed, we were difficult, we were disobedient, we were rebellious. How many times do we have to say that? And you can say, well, keep saying it until you mean it. Ooh. Then it might take a week, not a day. If I knew for sure that all my sins are forgiven, what effect would that have on me? Would I say, oh, what a relief. Now I can go back to sinning. Start a new account. Or would it make me be much more careful not to slip back into those things that I have been forgiven for? Would it make me so grateful that I would be even better than I ever was before? What would the effect of forgiveness be? So, as we approach Yom Kippur, of course we're going to ask for forgiveness. And we're confident that we're going to get forgiveness because God is abundantly forgiving. But what effect will that have? So even if we were sure, without a doubt, that we are going to be forgiven, do we still need Yom Kippur? What I mean is, do we still need to do all the fasting and the davening and the praying and the soul searching? Is forgiveness all we want? Or are we dealing with a profound of an important relationship that needs a lot of attention, not just erase the slate? So even if we were absolutely sure, yes, we will be forgiven, God forgives. That's what Yom Kippur was created for. Even so, we need to do a lot of thinking, and a lot of soul searching, and a lot of adjustments made. Because what will the effect of the forgiveness be? Well, that depends on our frame of mind, where our head is at, what we're thinking, what we want. So forgiveness means an opportunity to start fresh. But how do you do that? And what is starting fresh going to bring? Hopefully, a renewed enthusiasm in the proper service. Like in a relationship, if I hurt somebody and they forgive me, well, now I'm going to be more careful, assuming that I wanted their forgiveness. I'm going to be more careful.
That's exactly right. That's the point. You learn how to merit forgiveness by working hard at it, and because you work so damn hard at it to finally earn it, you start to value it. It matters. It becomes something that matters. It should have always mattered to you that you restored to someone. It shouldn't just be like the same. Whether he's mad at me today or likes me today, it doesn't make a difference for me. That's fucking insane. So he's making a very beautiful point here. That's exactly right. When you work hard at it and learn, get into the practice of always making sure you're correctly reconciled to everybody, then you realize, oh my God, this is work. So therefore, I better act normal and great for people so that I don't have to do all this work all the time.
Relationship is going to be more meaningful, and I'm going to become a different person. So let's think about this for a moment. If it's just a matter of apologizing and asking forgiveness, would that take all day? 24 hours? That's groveling. I mean, that's like really being desperate. How many times do we have to say, we sinned, we transgressed, we were difficult, we were disobedient, we were rebellious? How many times do we have to say that? And you can say, well, keep saying it until you mean it. Whoa. Then it might take a week, not a day. So here's the point. I can ask forgiveness for sins that I committed. I wasn't careful with my honesty. I said something that was dishonest. I lied. Not once, number of times through the year. And now I want to apologize for that. I want to do tshuva. And I want to be forgiven for that. Or I ate something that wasn't kosher, or very doubtfully kosher, or whatever. I want forgiveness. I was careless with Shabbos. I want forgiveness. Now we can go through the list, all 613 commandments. Say, yeah, well, I once did that, and yeah, I'm guilty of that. And for that, we have a list. It's printed in the prayer book. It's right there in the Mauser. And it follows the alphabet. 2 sins for every letter in the alphabet. So we cover a lot of that. So yeah, you could be apologizing for the occasional sin. Hopefully you didn't spend a year lying. It happened. And you want to apologize and you want to be forgiven for it. But then there's another whole layer of life for which we might want to apologize, and that is the entire flavor, the entire tone of what my life is about. For example, if you're a doctor and you feel like you did not really function or serve with the right attitude, with the right bedside manner, so it's not an occasional thing. In your profession, in your main function in life, you were not as good as you should have been. That's daily, that's constant, that's your life. So if a person says, I think last year my life failed, I failed at life. Not because on a number of occasions I lied or a number of occasions I did things wrong. Those are just incidents. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be great if the only thing I need to apologize out of all the things I did a whole year last year is like 7 events? Okay, 12 events, 30 events, 30 mistakes, 30 misdeeds in a year. I'm a pretty good person. That's a good record. But if I have a profession, if I have a family, if I have a relationship that is the center of my life, and I failed it, not on occasion, the whole thing was just not up to par. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't being sincere. I wasn't giving it my best. That regret is not written on the page, at least not explicitly. If you take a look at the list of sins, long list, they don't really describe violations of commandments. It's more like the manner of sin. For example, sins that I committed carelessly, sins that I committed verbally, sins that I committed irresponsibly, sins that I committed with foolish speech, sins that I committed absent-mindedly, even sins I committed in confusion, in panic, sins I committed against parents. It doesn't say which sin or which act. So if you look at the list, you get a very distinct impression. These are not acts. These are all flaws in a relationship. To put it in different words, there are sins that I committed, but then there is so much of life that I omitted. I did not devote myself properly. I didn't give it the attention it deserved. I was not as sincere as I should have been. That's not something I did. That's something I failed to do. And in which area of life? At the very center of my life. See, that is a whole different kind of regret. So yes, you can make resolutions. I will be more careful with the food that I eat. I'll be more careful with not telling lies. I'll be more careful with not hurting people. But those are just occasions. What about your life itself? Now, imagine somebody says, well, that's exactly my problem. I don't know what my life is. I don't have a life. Well, then apologizing for your mistakes is not going to do it. The real remorse and the real regret is, I didn't live my life. I didn't live it fully. I didn't live it properly. If I failed at life itself, because I didn't live it fully, I didn't live it sincerely, I wasn't best at what I'm best at.
Yeah, here is another thing. I feel like this is both for me that I inherited from my mom, which is also true for my mom. This, if not more for her than for me. I'm trying to make up for the lack of a life granted from her that I have to compensate by forcing my own spin-off life, which is, half successful at best to a point and then not. And my mom didn't create true life in the spirit between the mother and the son relationship that she forged with me, because it wasn't forged. It was not a living. So sad. Missed out. And I missed out on the vital programming and the vital energetic inputs. old lady stranger talks to me who I meet in the street or a park. Or, not old lady, middle age, but and she's so nice and warm and kind and pleasant. It's like I get more of a yin nourishment energy from her, a nourishing kind of mommy energy from her than I get from my own mother. To have a conversation with her for an hour later, I feel more normal than I ever felt in my whole life. Just because of that, just because someone treated me well for 20 minutes of my life. You're not getting it, people.
That remorse, that regret, that's life-changing. Life-giving.
So, that was a video, and where I said here he distinguishes between repentance of specific sins versus repentance for an entire semblance and tone of conduct that permeates the whole living and operational mode. I hold you to be guilty of this exact second type. Please listen more to the short video. She listened to this. This again should have been life transforming on the spot. And if not that, then let's see. There's a third short video under 1 minute. Let's examine.
What is repentance? Why should it even work? God told you to do something and you didn't do it. That's it. You can't listen to instructions. That's it. And now you're going to come back and you say you're sorry and he's going to give you another chance. What's that all about? You know what it's about? Does God want you to do the commandments? Is he serious when he says, this is what I like and this is what I don't like? Thou shalt and thou shalt not? Oh yeah, you bet he's serious. He really wants the commandments. You want to know a secret? You know what he wants even more than the commandments? He wants you. Which is why even when you didn't do what he wanted you to do, he wants to give you a second chance so that he can continue to be in a relationship with you.
But only if you accept that opportunity to repent. If you decline it, you're spitting in God's face. Now how do you think he reacts? He sees you're wronging other people in your life and your own children in a way that brings him to anger to the point of wrath, and then you still don't repent? You will have problems. I will give them to you myself. Now, the next day, read this carefully. And you can see, true repentance involves the repair of the relationship. Verbally confess, express the remorse, too. Do everything in your power to right the wrong and act differently. And then, to take her up on, to half take her up on her offer that we moved to a therapist, I said, sure, maybe I'll try it. So I said, give me a credit card, you finance it. I'll get a Christian model, whether it's Christian or Jewish, but there's an easier Christian one I could find. Religious model therapy service, I'll subscribe it. Long story short, I used it was too expensive, not efficient enough. She on her own end went through a few sessions on her own, came back and kind of admitted the same thing. Way too expensive, not working fast enough. Not viable unless you're rich. Hey, life's not so easy. You can't just magically outsource the solving of your problems to other people. You need to be the responsible one. It's not you get to make problems and then run to a therapist to pretend we're solving our problems. You want to export the responsibility of it. No such thing. Okay? And just later after that, she had left something under the door for me. I asked her again, avoidant behavior? Bad. Who told you it's a good idea for the mother-son relational development and for the process of atonement for you to just come, you're at my door, you know I'm home, and instead of buzzing my door and speaking to me, you approach my apartment door while I'm home, you place things there, and then you turn around and you walk away. This is what makes God happy? This is what makes God smile? You feel like you're following the way you're supposed to be? I don't think so. Oh, and look, and that's what I wrote, actually. What spiritual teacher, godly person has said for you to do that? None. Now, I asked you to answer a few vital questions 24 hours ago. You still have not done this. I'm waiting. What's her answer? Reasonable person would say, oh, I gotta do, I'm so sorry. There'd be the real emotional impact and the confession and the admittance. What do we have from this person? Sorry, today surgery, later talk. That's it. No acknowledgement of the heart, nothing. I'm checking in with you, how you feel, how I feel, how we feel. Nothing, just dry brain, robotic, non-functioning. You see what it is. That's not human. That's not normal. Wow, this really does look like a cluster B type narcissistic thing. It's like you're missing the ability to see entire color spectrums. This is odd responses. Audience, do we agree or disagree? Next, further need to pay for a real therapist, Christian values, or any value. Judeo-Christian value system is the one we adhere to. So, on and on. All right. Skimming ahead, I say, look, surgery has nothing to do with how you treat a given human being, anybody. You can still have surgery later and still love to see your son and treat him great and speak to him well. Do you understand this? You see this? All that problematic thing that you're doing, that is all you. So please get the thing paid for. So it's like, you want therapist? Well, I'm not going to go to your therapist, but at least let me go my way. Although it's nonsense. I tested it and I said, this is not working. And of course, I should follow my own gut instinct. My gut instinct is I know how to do it right. All right, so not home now. Let you know later on. I wrote her some kind of email that prior night. Let's see. Guys from Poland reached. All right, and I said I didn't send an email last night. What email? I just forwarded you something from something else I'm working on now. Good. And then next. Now, here we go. I read the previous messages last night. Oh, she hasn't even read anything until this way further point in time. That's how much she cares. Her mode is block it out and ignore it. Well, that's sick. So go get cast out of the sunlight into the shade where you will wither and die as a plant and not thrive. What the fuck is that? That's disgusting. You shouldn't even be admitting that. Now that I write. Please do everything that is according for you to do. All right, now. Continuing on, I wrote eventually, I asked you questions 36 hours ago. You said this morning that you'd get back to me with the understanding that this means you will take the time to properly reply, as you should. But now you just changed your mind all of a sudden. So we keep seeing a recurring pattern of a promise is given or a word is extended as an agreement or an understanding is established. And then unilaterally on her own side, as if she's God, the God of the agreement, not that it's a binding agreement for two people who are linked, that you're obligated. To her, she doesn't understand the obligation part. She only understands the I could do anything I want anytime part. That's cluster B dysfunction. Normal people cannot do that normally. They would feel shame and embarrassment to even try, which they wouldn't try. So I'm chastising her, rebuking her again. Now you say, Friday? You're the only mom in Brooklyn who would take 72 hours to write back a sufficient reply to her own son. So I recommend maybe you should take some tryptophan and 5-HTP to help you reboost your serotonin, because obviously there's some kind of neurofunctioning issue. Fast forwarding slightly, here we go again, barking orders. Call, go do this, go do that, visit food stamps people, do this, do that. No, I don't think you get it. If you've committed a fault against me where I'm shaming you now, you don't pause to start telling me things. I don't listen to you. When you faulted me, you're cut because now it's time for you to get taken low. You have to get broken down to the basement, and now you're a little slug crawling back up, begging God to live. Nothing else. So saying this on the screen here that you all see is another tacit or implicit domination frame control attempt. It's go, I don't really care what you think. Let me re-show how I give orders and things to grown men. It never happened. So always be rebuked back to you. Bad mom. Bad. You get it now? You get it now? But no, she doesn't get it, because if anyone else maybe in the world would say bad barbara, I would say, oh, I'm sorry. But my son, I'm never bad. If he says I'm bad, it's because he's mistaken. He cannot really be bad because he's my son, so I owned him. I own him. I can do whatever I want. So it's this lie you tell yourself that makes you feel the false inoculation, which gives you the localized psychopathy that you're implementing in the relationship. Essentially what it boils down to. It's like, my son's not human. I don't have to treat him like I'll treat everyone else. I treat him worse. No problem. I see, that's the problem. You got it reversed. Because we treat him better, not worse. You understand? Now go on. Look, nothing is wrong with your phone. So how do you know you could send it tonight but not now? And if you could send it tonight, then what do you have to go in the morning for? Blah, blah, blah. Not terribly important stuff. So fast forwarding. Now it's Saturday evening. Wow, we were talking about how she was changing from Thursday to Friday. So Friday got broken too. So it's a double neglect. Saturday triple neglect. No shame. It doesn't matter to her that she broke her word. That's okay. But only narcissists feel that way. Therefore, if you show yourself as acting that way, what kind of person are you? Cluster B or not cluster B? Obviously, you're a cluster B type personality, narcissistic or related issue. You gave me your word, I said, and promised you'd properly address both the questions and the general issues at hand by Friday, which was yesterday. I didn't hear anything at all from you regarding this, and instead of reaching out today, I've not heard anything all day today either. You think this is acceptable to break your word to me? Right, you should be breaking down crying, sobbing. I don't understand. When your own boyfriend, if you break your word to your boyfriend and he pulls you aside and he says, "Hey, listen, you're supposed to do this yesterday. Something else nothing. What is this supposed to mean?" Huh? Do you also sit there and give him the same kind of like non-validation that you give here? Or do you go, "Oh my God, like did that..." Or do the hairs on your neck stand up and go, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry. Oh shit, I fucked up. I really did. I'm sorry." Right. So that's how you should be treating me. Is there a double standard? Or are you also as bad to him as you are to me? In which case, why would he be with you? You see, so something's not adding up here. But actually seems to be the case that you're giving me specially bad treatment and only I receive this kind of bad neglectful treatment. Everybody else gets treated decent, huh? That's fucking real sick. Uh-oh. Well, here we go. Now, Saturday, I didn't hear from you since yesterday when you left the house. Oh, I don't know what that means, but here you've seen what's on the screen here. So that's just a weird, slight quasi-deflection tactic of some kind. Always trying to shift responsibility instead of saying, "Yeah, you're right, I did like not meet my word." It's, "Well, I didn't hear from you." No, that instinct where you try to dodge a correct accusation is what God steps on and smashes and crushes your life and soul for. Right, no, that's correct. We would all say, yeah, that is correct. Why are you not taking responsibility, Mom? Why are you denying him the repentance that he is owed here by you, by your shitty behavior? What is all this crap, Mom? Right. Well, next line anyway, she says, regardless of that, we need to meet and discuss our differences. How about tomorrow? Wow, finally. You're only several days too late, but after a week of not being in an accord with your son, finally, you act normal. I invite you for lunch. Obviously, you know I don't go to your fucking stupid ass apartment because you're fucking idiot boyfriend. Even though I wasn't even aware that, oh no. Well, right, exactly. Maybe you prefer to talk on the phone and call me whenever you are awake. We need to work on improving our relationship, not to make it worse. Wow, nice words. Hey guys, flashback. Do you remember when I went to Spain and my mom wrote in that text, like, we need to work on restoring the peace and the family and the relationship. Right? And I was like, oh my God, that is amazing, right? That's great, man. No, just kidding. I put another protection on you. We all went together. I even took your father. We made a day out of it. Haha. That's fucking psycho abusive. Why would you do that? Why? How's that normal? You never apologize for that. You just sure you said, I don't know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Who cares which one I pick and why I randomly switch them out at any time I want? I don't have to feel bad about it. That's the cluster B defect. Psychopathic-like, narcissistic for sure. Okay, so, but nevertheless, you have some kind of commitment. So, all right, Mom, take it at face value again as we're rolling our eyes. All right, let's see what comes of it. Guess what, guys? This was October 8th. I always want the best for you. Right, words that are empty, because what happened the next day? We'll see it. My words hold true. We will see if it is the case that you really do. As for inviting me, I told you I don't want to go to that place you live in. The larger part of the reason being that there's zero accord between me and the guy you live with. Second issue is that I hold you to being guilty of wrongdoing, and you're here to apologize to me and make it right with me. You come to me, to my jurisdiction. I don't come to your jurisdiction. Why the hell would I do that? That's exactly right. That's true. 100%. Next, you come to be submitted to my jurisdiction is how you show yourself to be willing to make right and repent. That's right. That's good. Good, John. Good. You don't wait to hear from me. If you have something you promise to do, it's your liability, your obligation and duty and responsibility to initiate 100% of the effort to me that's necessary to make sure that it happens. That's right. All right, good. Wow, look, probably the only normal thing we have. Let's see. I understand. I meant to go out to eat to discuss if you want. Okay, why not? I will call you tomorrow. So this was Saturday, October 9th. No, this was Saturday, October 8th. I'll call you tomorrow around lunchtime and we'll discuss everything. This is her showing finally after a week, tacitly admitting, okay, you're right, maybe I'm wrong, and let's talk about it. If you want to go out, we could do that. I'll work on the answers before we talk. Wow, she's making the showing of, look, I'm taking responsibility, right? Yeah. The next day was the fateful day. I just say, look, I don't want to go outside. Come down and we'll talk in here. What time you'll be here? I'll call you about 12:30 p.m.
Like after?
That was the last text I got for months. For guys, this was the fateful day where she called, I picked up, I said hello, and she started with the crap. You think, now, so the context is now finally fully established, full circle. Because you then see at this point in the story, as you all know and heard before, they say, it was told to you that, yeah, and that's when the mom, like, randomly in her brain was like, provoking her son. How do you provoke the same son who you're supposed to be making up with? So that already exposes you as being fake and false in the spirit. You don't really have the spirit of repentance, which is the only correct spirit you're supposed to have here. You fake showed that. If you really feel sorry, you're not agitating with your son provoking, drażnienie, going, oh, what are you talking to me like that for? Huh? What is that? What was that? And I'm going, oh, what the hell? Why are you picking on me? What the fuck? I have a neural issue. Huh? Why are you talking to your mom like that? Huh? Shoot yourself in shame.